Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us on this episode of The Standard. I'm Chris Bandura from Dave & Adams. We have a fantastic guest today, a youth influencer in the hobby. I would almost say a youth celebrity around the game a little bit here. Brody the Kid has joined us. Brody, thanks so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Chris.
So happy to have you. You know, I have to ask you a couple questions. I'm sure you've been asked a few times because you're such an impressive young man. But when did you start collecting?
Oh, I'd say when I was about 5 or 6, because my dad collected, and he'd always loved sports as a kid. So I probably ripped my first pack, which was probably WWE, believe it or not, probably at 5 or 6. But then I think at 2016 or 2017, somewhere around there, is when I really got into it, started ripping a bunch of cards. And then 2018 was when the brand started.
The brand is insane, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So do you have a favorite sport at all?
Probably baseball is my favorite, followed by basketball, then football, then hockey. And then soccer's gotten really popular, but I know nothing about soccer. So
that's okay.
Let's not talk about soccer.
You got enough to worry about, so that's okay. Now, has your favorite sport changed at all since you began collecting? Or has it always kind of been baseball as the main one?
I'd say it's always been baseball just because it's my favorite to play. Football might be my favorite sport to collect, but I don't know. Baseball, basketball, and football are my main ones, and I have a ton of fun collecting them and playing them. All three of those mainly.
So are you a wrestling fan since WWE was the first, or is wrestling big in the family?
Yeah, it actually is. Wrestling. My dad loves wrestling, so does my mom. So yeah, WWE's a big thing in the house.
Well, here's the thing, because that can divide houses, like a Yankees Red Sox thing. Like, are there some fights when we got pay-per-views and stuff like that, when your favorite's going against your mom's favorite or something like that?
That can happen, yes.
So who's your favorite?
I as a kid used to be Sheamus. I don't know. I just loved them. And now my favorite's Matt Riddle. I love that guy. He just cracks me up a bunch with his bro.
Absolutely. RK Bro now, right? So hopefully they stay together. All right, let's get back to collecting a little bit. So do you remember how old you were the first time you ripped some cards on camera for one of your videos?
I think I was probably 11, because I think it was 2019, because 2018 was when I did my stuff with Tops, and was Brody the Tops Kid, and I think we kind of started Daily Rip probably early 2019 or somewhere around there. I think it was in 2019. I don't remember exactly when, but yeah.
Do you remember if you were nervous?
Yes, I've been nervous doing stuff a bunch of times. There's been some guests I've had on my show, and going up to people I've been pretty nervous about.
Yeah, that's understandable. But I tell you what, you carry yourself so well on camera, and obviously doing this already, but I think you do such a great job, and really definitely an inspiration to a lot of kids. You know, I know my kids love watching you, and kind of what you do. And what I think is really unique about what you do is you show cards to these kids, and you show what every time you open up different kinds, you're showing them what it's about. Not necessarily the dollar amounts like what a lot of people do when they do stuff online, but you're just really opening up the hobby to kids by showing what all these different cards look like. And even how you describe the cards is awesome. What made you kind of decide to do it the way you're doing it now? You know, is it just comfortable for you to do it this way when you open up cards on camera?
Yeah, I love doing the Daily Rip. It's a ton of fun. I just like doing the variety. So many, I'll do all the brands, Tops, Panini, Upper Deck, Leaf. I think probably other companies too we've done stuff of. Hit Parade, I think I actually did a box of Hit Parade one time. Yeah, I just have a blast doing that, and then sometimes I'll rip boxes on my YouTube and stuff from my show. So I kind of do some of everything with camera angles and stuff like that. I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun to show kids. Here's Prism, which is a really crazy product and everyone loves it. And here's opening day, which is a cheap product for you kids. I really enjoy it.
Is that what you say would probably be your favorite part of just the hobby in general, is just being able to kind of just share it with other people?
Yeah, the people in this hobby are the best, and to be able to share it with people and do everyone could do it their own unique way, which is the best part.
Now, I did get to meet you in person at the National a couple weeks back. What was that experience like for you? And then I got to ask, what's it like being a hobby celebrity, walking around a show like that and having so many people come up to you?
Yeah, there was a lot of people that came up to me, kids, adults, just to ask for a picture. I signed some autographs, so that was it was pretty awesome. I couldn't believe how many people did that. But yeah, in general, the national was so crazy. I couldn't believe how many people were there. Booths were there was so many different unique booths with vintage and modern and boxes. Pop a shot at some booths. There was just so much fun stuff to do and walk around. A lot of cool autograph signers. It was just an absolute blast. And I know I say this about the national every year, but this year seemed to be the best one for sure.
Now, you said you signed some autographs. Do you have a good athlete autograph? Is it messy? Is it like a doctor who they always write their name so crazy? Or do you write it nice and neat?
Well, it's kind of initials, but ever since Alvin Kamara came into the league in 2017, I saw his autograph with the star. So the start of my autograph starts with a star because
I
I
like
really
it.
like the star in an autograph. I don't know why. I think it just looks cool.
I like it. So you've been collecting for a few years now, right? And kind of doing this stuff. Do you think you like it more as you're getting a little bit older than when you first started?
Yeah, I think so just because the hobby's so much crazier and there's so many people that are getting into it, a lot of celebrities. Um, it's just been crazy how much it's exploded. People got scared when COVID started, but COVID was like the best thing for the hobby because
Absolutely.
nobody had anything to do. So it's all been about cards. And like I said, so many celebrities are in this now. Like even Steve Aoki started his own card thing. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing how the hobby's grown, and I almost consider you like you're almost like a little bit of a pioneer here, of kind of that second wave of collectors, because I think definitely collecting seems to have evolved a lot, and you've been kind of right at the start of it all, that second wave a little bit, which must be a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah, for sure. It just from the time I started to now, it's crazy. I mean, I remember one of the first like high end packs I bought was Phoenix football in 2017. And it was 5 cards per pack, and it was $12. And my dad's like, you can't get that pack. There was only 5 cards for $12." But then we didn't get anything. And nowadays, a $12 pack, that's like top series one
It's
flagship.
crazy.
It's crazy how much it's evolved. Phoenix football is probably $40 a pack when it comes out or
Yep.
something like that. It's just crazy. This hobby it's really exploded, which is awesome.
Absolutely, and it's only getting bigger, which is good.
Yeah.
Like I said, as you're kind of on the forefront of it all. Do you have a favorite card or a couple cards that you own that are kind of your favorite? Now, it doesn't have to necessarily be because of value. It might be it's a really awesome picture, or the design of it's pretty cool, or do you have a couple that come to mind? I know it's kind of a tough question because you see so many cards, and I'm sure you have a ton of favorites.
Yeah, I just say a couple, my Mike Trout triple threads auto that I pulled because it was just I mean Mike Trout's the best in the game, and when I saw this card backwards in this box and it was Mike Trout, and I'm like, oh, Mike Trout, and then I read and it says the autograph is guaranteed. I almost lost my
Yeah,
mind. I couldn't believe that I just pulled the Mike Trout
it's a beautiful
autograph.
card.
That was really awesome. I also pulled a Patrick Mahomes optic auto after he had gotten really good, and I only opened one pack from the box, and
Oh
it
my
was a
gosh.
Mahomes auto. I couldn't. It was crazy, and
Why do any
I
more from there, right? You can't get much better than that one out of that series.
no,
Jeez.
yeah, it was like the luckiest thing ever. I mean, I also have a couple of Mahomes that I pulled before Mahomes was good in 2017 when he hadn't played at all. So I was like, it's a nice autograph to 25.
Oh.
But if I would have pulled it a couple years later, I would have absolutely lost my mind. But back then, Mahomes was just a backup to Alex Smith.
Oh,
So
for sure. Would you
yeah,
say now? Would you say when you open up that trout, was that probably the most excited you ever were when you opened up a pack of cards?
I'd say probably. I was just I couldn't believe that I had a Mike Trout autograph. And it's number to 9 too.
That's
I couldn't
crazy.
believe that I had it sitting in my hands, a Mike Trout autograph. I mean, because I've just watched him play so much, and he's so good at
Yep.
baseball.
Do you get now? I have to ask you because you open a lot of cards. Do you get more nervous opening up a pack of cards or doing one of your videos?
I'd say doing my videos. It just depends what if the daily rip, obviously I'm opening cards too. The daily rip is just kind of me being myself and having fun. But some interviews I get a little nervous. Usually me interviewing them, I get more nervous because when people interview me, it seems like I kind of just like we're doing right now. I
Yep.
just kind of answer what you're asking me. But when I have people on, I have to make sure I know what questions I've got and make sure I have follow ups. I just get nervous sometimes with interviews like that. But for the most part, I just try to have fun. And like I said, this you can really be unique in this hobby, which is that's the greatest part of it. You can do what you want.
Absolutely. And speaking of being unique, I got to tell you, this brand is unbelievable. I love it. I love it. So you got to tell me a little bit. How did you get to that logo? How did you get to that brand? And how cool is it that you look down and oh yeah, that's me. That's my thing.
Well, it all started when I was Brody the Tops Kid in 2018 at the National, and that's where Brody the Kid started after that because we started Brody the Kid so I could do stuff with all the companies.
Yeah.
And then my mom figured out this top like the garbage kid pail
Awesome.
kids look, and that was the picture from my 2018 Christmas, and I just had packs of cards laying everywhere. So that's where that picture comes from. And then all these logos and stuff are pretty much credit to my mom. We kind of went over the fist bump one with the BTK and then the stars on the other
Yep.
fingers, which I the fist bump's cool, and I think I don't know, I love it.
It's
I love
awesome.
my peace out stuff. We have a little sticker, and
Yep.
it's over there somewhere, but it's a little sticker, and it's got my little cartoon face with the peace out there. That's one of my favorites too.
I love it. Is it funny to see your face on a cartoon like that?
Yeah, yeah.
I said, I tell you, at the National, we saw your logo everywhere. It was so awesome to see. So we're going to wrap up in a few minutes here, but I do have to ask you, what's a day like for you? Because it seems like you're doing so many different things, with your brand itself, with your daily rip, with all the other stuff you're doing. Like, what's a day like for you? How do you get it all in?
Yeah, I just obviously the daily reps every day, and then on Sundays I try to do hobby shirts Sundays sometimes with other company shirts and stuff. Um, it just whatever I find that's cool and I could post is what I post. Like I was at a card show last weekend and I posted a picture from there, and then when I got home I posted some of the cards I got. It if I go to the card store, I'll probably do my daily rip there. National Baseball Card Day happened. So whatever's happening going on, I'll be there and I'll do something cool for it. And then I have to go on social media because there's a lot of comments and stuff that I gotta like and reply to. Yeah, I mean that's I just try to do what's happening, show it to the kids and show them what's going on in this hobby at that time.
Well, listen, I tell you what, Brody, you're such an inspiration to a lot of other kids. You know, it's amazing, even just seeing the growth of what you've been doing, and you're such a poised young man. And I know personally, I'm really, really excited to kind of see what's next for you. I don't even know if you know what's next for you. You know, like, do you have any idea what's next, you know, in the hobby for you?
We'll see. We'll just keep doing everything that I do with my show and the Daily Rip and everything, and we'll see what comes from it. Really, we're approaching, I think, 40 episodes almost on my show, so we're just gonna keep going to keep getting more interview guests going, and see what happens. I mean, because I didn't know I didn't start with my web show. That I didn't do that. I've been doing the Daily Rip for probably a year or something like that before my show Hobby Life started. So just keep rolling with the hobby and see what happens. Really.
That's awesome. Well, listen, thanks for taking some time with us. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Keep growing it for the kids. That's the future of this hobby. And if the future is somebody like you, it's going to be in awesome hands, and it's only going to keep growing. So thanks so much, Brody, for joining us. And we'd love to have you on again down the road.
For sure. Thank you so much, Chris. I had an absolute blast. Peace out.
That's what I wanted to see. Thanks, brother. Thanks so much for joining us today. Be sure to follow us on all our social platforms to keep up on all the latest episodes of The Standard. Once again, this is Chris Bandura. You're watching The Standard.